Let's look up some Halloween jokes, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, I'm googling Halloween jokes.
Halloween hoax.
100 funny Halloween jokes. And it goes.
How do vampires get around on Halloween?
How? Oh, I know.
On blood vessels.
Blood vessels. All right, here. Let me tell one. All right. Okay, guys, get ready for this. All right.
Knock knock.
All right, thanks everyone for coming out tonight. Yeah, this is gonna give it this great night. Everyone.
I had another talkie. Oh god.
Are you fucking?
I'm
You're gonna interrupt my comedy routine?
I'm joking.
All right, let me tell my joke. All right. All right. Hey, why did the headless horseman get a job? He's trying to get ahead in life. Woo! All right, okay, folks, I got one more for you. All right. So the skeleton couldn't help being afraid of the storm. You know why? This is actually relevant because it rained in LA today. He didn't have any guts. Woo!
Not funny.
Okay. Yeah, welcome back to Stacked, everyone. Welcome back to Stacked, episode 61, part 2 of our second annual, lots of twos, part 2.
Can you put that clip from...
What clip? You're gonna interrupt my intro for the clip? Yeah, what's the clip?
Fantastic Four Ben Grimm, not funny.
No, I'm not gonna do that. Welcome back to episode 64 of Stacked, part 2 of our second annual Halloween-a-thon. Boys, how's your
Bully.
You can't stop interrupting me. That's what you can't stop doing. Chris, how you doing? What are you up to? It's October now. It wasn't October when we recorded the first episode, so what's up?
It's officially October. We are, I don't know. Right now, this week's gonna be a bit busy for me. I'm on a couple shoots, doing my thing. The weather has shifted towards being a little colder, and supposedly it's gonna get much colder by Thursday. I think by Thursday the maximum temperature is meant to be 62 Fahrenheit.
Ah,
ooh. So
that sounds nice.
Yeah, it'll be nice to get away from the summer heat because I have been sick of that for way too long.
Mm-hmm.
So good vibes all around,
Yeah, I mean, fall weather's finally coming in. It was super hot last week, but things are feeling good. Brandon, so I haven't seen you in such a long time, buddy.
Yeah?
How's Knott's Berry Farm? How's Knott's Scary Farm?
Busy. Yeah. I work so late.
Do you want to tell the folks who you saw?
I met Tony Hawk and Vanessa Hudgens.
Mm-hmm.
Super crazy that they were on my ride, and I was like, hey, put away your cell phones.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't want you to lose it on the ride. Also, don't hit anybody.
Also, no skating on the roller coaster. Come on.
No skating, no 180 degree, even though I spin.
Even though
my coasters spin. It's good. It's just like the hours are heavy, dude. It's like you work 7 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Fridays and Sundays or Saturdays, and then Sundays are till 1 a.m. So I'm there pretty late.
Yeah.
Ethan knows, I actually went to IHOP on Saturday, and I wasn't home until 5 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah, it was the craziest experience ever. I gotta tell you about it later because I don't know if I should share this story on the podcast. What happened?
Really? At the IHOP?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so fun.
Guess that's something for off the record. All right.
Yeah,
well,
but it's good.
After hours, maybe.
That's right.
No.
Nah, I'm good. Nah. All right. Well, let's get into today's topic here. So you might be wondering why we told some hilarious jokes. Come on, those were great. Because we're talking about horror comedies. I think a pretty strong subgenre in the horror overall genre, filmmakers playing with sort of the the aspects and aesthetics of the horror genre, but putting their own comedic twist to it, either deconstructing the genre as we know it, or deconstructing horror myths, or just twisting them to make something new, you know? So yeah, I had a lot of fun looking through horror comedies. You know, these are always a great time to watch during Halloween. Chris, what was it like putting together this list for you?
Well, since this is our second go with the Halloween-a-thon, I actually noticed a lot of overlap in my short list with movies that we've chosen before during like last year's Halloween-a-thon. So I had to get a little bit more crafty with choosing mine, but I actually ended up choosing a couple of movies I actually never thought I might even talk about in this show. But yeah, I'm really excited to share some of these. And funnily enough, almost all of these movies turned out to be like spoof movies.
Yeah.
So we'll see how these turn out. But yeah, that's kind of like parody spoof movies. That's kind of how it came out. And I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But how about you, Brandon? How did you do it?
Yeah.
So difficult. Oh my god. I had like 10 movies at first that I couldn't decide between. And then I narrowed it down to 2 stacks, a 3 and a 3. And I was like, all right, are they too similar? Are they not? What's a good mix here? Because I wanted to find movies that were both scary and funny and had like different degrees of comedy and horror. Because I wanted to highlight, because the genre is flexible. Like there are some that are definitely more comedy than horror, and then there are some that are more horror than comedy, and then there's some that are like a great mix of both. So yeah, it was difficult, but I nailed it down.
Yeah, it was hard because like I wanted to like, yeah, there's a lot of parodies, and I think I tried to stay away from the parodies because I knew we were gonna talk about a lot of parodies. Sorry, COVID. No. So I went with like some films. We've already talked about one before, but I wanted to go with some films just that like create new things that we haven't necessarily seen in the horror genre by implementing comedy. One I think is more of a classic pick. One is a really new film, and one is just like breaking the limits of what a horror comedy can be, and honestly what a comedy could be. So I can't wait to hear your guys' take on that one, because it's now a film you've actually have seen, because I don't think the last time I talked about it, I don't think you had seen it, but now you have. So let's dive into our picks. But of course, before that, let's go over the rules of the show. Once a week, we set a topic or theme and go our separate ways to construct our own 3 film stack. Then after a week, we come back here on the podcast and share our own stacks one film at a time. Then at the end of the show, we will mix and match our 9 films to make the ultimate decision what quintessential 3 film stack we are checking out of this hypothetical video store. I'm miming the hypothetical video store that I'm in. Look at the shelves. Ooh, bada bing. Sorry about that. All right, I'm going first. Me, with my first film. Chris, you haven't seen this. It's actually a 2021 film. Brandon, you and I saw it together. We very much enjoyed it. It's a film directed by Josh Rubin. It's sort of like a murder mystery horror comedy. It's called Werewolves Within. Yes. Oh, Brandon, do your best werewolf impression for me right now. Okay, pretty good.
Did you hear that?
We heard that. Yeah, that was pretty. That was a pretty unmotivated werewolf, but you know, I'll take it. Yeah.
Werewolves are overrated.
All right. So that was my first pick, Chris. No, I actually, you know what? I kind of agree. I think werewolves are overrated and not that scary, but I think Werewolves Within do a really cool twist on the werewolf movie by making it sort of like, I don't know, an Among Us movie. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom.
Is that what we're going to start to refer
to? Like The Thing and Werewolves Within? Yeah, as Among Us movies.
Yeah.
That's going to make it to the textbooks, all right?
Among Us
Quote
genre.
me on that shit. Quote me on that shit. Subgenre. It's
probably
Among
already
Us
made it in
movies.
yearbooks.
In yearbooks. That's right. Another one for the books. Anyways, Werewolves Within is about sort of a cop who has been transferred to the small town. I think it's in Colorado, somewhere in the Rocky Mountains, very snowy. He's now a ranger for the national forest there. And there's tension between the town's members and sort of each other, their politics, and sort of the politics of the land, because someone wants to put in a gas pipe through it. Is that what it's called? What's it called?
It's like an oil pipe, like a pipeline.
An oil pipe. Yeah, pipeline.
A gas
pipe. Pipeline. I want to get piped. Never mind. I'm cutting that out. Anyways. A pipeline. They want to put a pipeline through town, and some people are for it, some people are against it. And that sort of creates another layer of tension through this mystery of who is a werewolf and who is not. You know? There's sort of a political undertone with it. They cast some great comedic actors to sort of play with the sort of the campiness of it all, of this mystery. You know, it kind of has a hint of Clue to it, with a little bit of Hateful Eight, I'd say, with the snow setting and sort of how the characters are depicted. And it's just a really good time. Sam Richardson is in it. He is becoming one of my favorite actors working today, starting with when I saw him in I Think You Should Leave. He's had some of the best sketches, and he's such a personality. Melania Van Trub, I think that's how you pronounce her name, the AT&T girl. Stop doing those commercials. I know they pay the bill, but you're a really good actress. Do more stuff like this, you know? And it's just got a bunch of great actors in it, you know? And it's just a really fun time playing with the horror trope of the werewolf and making for a really fun time. Brandon, you also enjoyed this movie. What do you think of Werewolves Within?
It did something that I really appreciate. It took some, like, an idea or a type of, like, mythical beast character, like a monster, and they kind of reinvented it. I feel like whenever you take something that it's really hard to take seriously, and you put it into a movie like this, it makes it a better film, and it makes it for a better character switch and dynamic. Because like when I think about like Universal monsters, like I don't really love any of those classic movies, like out of the like 2 or 3 that I've seen. Like they're good, but they're like, I never think about those movies and like, you know, I love those movies. I love the monsters. They're not scary, you know? They're interesting, but they're not scary.
It's interesting. The monsters.
Yeah. And with Werewolves Within, I don't think it's necessarily a very scary film personally.
No.
But I feel like where it does hit is with the comedy and the great casting for character actors, like who really don't get lead roles to like all get lead roles and supporting roles in this, like, it's very interesting. It's hard to, because you joke about it. I think it's interesting. You know,
it's interesting. And Sam Richardson, there you go. It's appropriate.
But it's like it's such a breath of fresh air to have a movie like have character actors and comedians like get more time on screen together.
Yeah, Chris, have you heard of Werewolves Within? It's actually a video game. If you didn't know.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I haven't heard of this at all. I mean, like, I feel like the werewolf subgenre is like kind of one that faded away like slowly over the years. I mean, the last movie I saw with any kind of like wolf kind of thing was this movie in 2020 called Wolf of Snow Hollow, and it was fine.
Oh, that.
And like, yeah, it was like, all right,
guy.
Yeah. I don't know, like I guess the genre hasn't really done very much lately, but I'm glad to hear that at least someone is doing something with it. Yeah, it's nice that even these smaller genres are still kind of like they have their like cult following in a weird way. So it's nice that they still get their moment to shine every now and then.
Yeah, there was that one directed by that dude that everyone loves on Letterboxd, Chapman. Was he a Chapman grad?
That was the one that Chris is talking about.
I know. Jim Cummings. Is he like a big Chapman guy? Why does everyone at Chapman obsessed with him?
I think it's because Thunder Road.
Thunder Road?
Because, like, that movie came out, and then, like, everybody who's like, really, like, hipster saw the movie. And I saw it, so I would be in that camp, I guess.
Brandon's a hipster, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I am. I don't know. And I really liked it, but, like, everybody else, like, went really gaga for it, because it's, like, very character-centric, and it's got a unique tone. And I just think that speaks well to a lot of, like, film people. original films like that.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I get it now. I thought he was like a graduate or something. I don't know. But there was that one, and then like the last one after that was probably. Do you remember The Wolfman?
I think that was that Amanda Seyfried movie.
It had Benicio del Toro in it, right?
Beowulf?
What was it? Hold on.
It was like late 2000s.
Yeah.
Late 2000s, early
It doesn't matter. Whatever. That's my movie. It wasn't called The Wolfman. It was called... Who fucking cares? That movie probably wasn't good anyways. Anyways, that's my first film. Chris, take us into your first horror comedy.
Cool. My first horror comedy is actually a movie that Brandon took me to, and I had no idea what this movie was. It's like a horror comedy, but also a thriller movie. It's definitely one of the horror comedies that maybe lean a bit more towards horror thriller and then has comedic elements. It's a movie from 2019 called Ready or Not.
Ready or Not.
I thought about putting this one on there.
Good one.
So, okay, Ready or Not. It is a story about it's about this kind of hide and seek game tradition that this twisted family places on their son's new bride on the night of their wedding. It's this really twisted movie. It's really high octane, violent, thrilling movie. It's like this whole kind of like, it's like a death game, and I know that kind of subgenre is like getting kind of popular now, especially with Squid Game, and it's been popular for a while with Hunger Games and Divergent and shit like that, whatever. But yeah, it's a really thrilling movie, and it places the audience right alongside the protagonist. This movie also is elevated by its exploration of like familial discourse and individual autonomy and socioeconomic prestige. And it's all framed through this one really freaking fun movie because it's such a thrilling movie to go on this journey with this character. I saw a really funny Letterboxd review that just called this movie Crazy Rich Caucasians, which I think is pretty funny.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and Ready or Not. Brandon, I know you're a huge fan of this movie.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about it?
Well, I thought about choosing it, but when it comes to the film, I was trying to decide whether or not I considered it a horror film, because there are points of it where it's a horror film. It's very satanic. It's got those elements to it. But like when I think about the movie, nothing really scares me about it. If I was like a kid or a teenager and like I saw this for the first time and like I had not really dipped my toes into horror, maybe, because like gore, I remember being scared by Tropic Thunder when I was really young because I didn't know, like I thought it was real. I didn't think it was like when Steve Coogan's head blows off in that movie. I thought that was real, and it scared the shit out of me. So like I wasn't used to gore. And Ready or Not is very gory, and it's also a film that I think is funny with its humor because of like how out of touch the rich people are and how like awkward and silly the situation is, and it's just a ton of fun. But I don't really think it's like got the horror elements that scare me. I do think it would qualify in the subgenre, but like barely. But I think it's a good choice regardless because it's a very fun film. You can get a lot out of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't know why I wasn't super crazy about it when we saw it, just because I don't know. I thought the performances were pretty on and off, It was sometimes paced a bit too fast for me, and there's some cheesy moments, but like, it is honestly a film. I think it's a great party film, Put it on with some friends and just watch Samara Weaving just kick some fucking ass. To this stuck-up rich white family. It's a great time. It's a bloody good time. And it has a great payoff. Ooh, man.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, it teases you. It teases you about something. And you're like, oh, is that actually gonna happen? Are we gonna see that? And we see it, and you're just like, thank you for that, Even though, like, I think it could have been done better. But because of its budget, I don't think it could have been done. But I think it was good. It was a good payoff. Yeah. Fantastic pick. Good movie in my opinion. Not a great movie, but fantastic pick for a horror comedy. Because like, I don't know. It's like, it's not a traditional horror trope, I guess, like it's a horror. It's something you see more in horror, in modern horror, sort of going after like class and sort of race and privilege as a concept of horror, you know. But now it's the horror genre is so like quickly developing that now can be twisted into a comedy now, you know. So many movies can be made that can happen. Yeah, good pick, Chris. All right, Brandon, what's your first horror comedy?
Well, I want to 'tis the season, you know. It's a holiday movie. It's more horror than comedy, but it is a comedy horror film, and that is Krampus from 2015.
Oh, Krampus!
Krampus! It's got Krampus.
Nobody's seen this movie. Krampus.
Name of Krampus. It's Krampus.
No. Look at the German pronunciation of it.
I don't fucking care. It's we went over and saw Daniel Drangos. But Michael Daugherty did this one, right? We saw Mangus Dangarow's Krampus in theaters now. This was a movie that I was dying to see, but I've never seen it. Tell me about Krampus.
What?
I know.
Okay.
What?
I thought everyone said it was shit, so I didn't see it. And I was like, damn.
I got the poster like right here on my wall. I go to sleep to it every night.
Oh. Thank you, Krampus.
How lovely. So this like is a monster movie about the monster Krampus, who is it's pronounced like that in the movie. So
oh, is it really? I guess you would know more than us because you've seen it. So
yeah. So Krampus is like the evil version of Santa Claus, and in German folklore, he came to kill all the bad children, essentially. So within the movie, like some mythical things happen where people in this town start dying one night during a snowstorm, and they're trying to figure out why. And Michael Daugherty plays with the genre of horror really well, much like a bunch of the modern horror directors. Like some go psychological with it, like Ari Aster and Robert Eggers, like we talked about, and then we've got like Jordan Peele and, you know, Daugherty and Flanagan, who sometimes mix up the genre with more comedy or maybe like thriller elements, you know, both in there. And with Krampus, I think you get more horror than you do comedy, but it's really like this family get together that's awkward and upsetting, but also critiques like Christmas movies. Like it's a very cynical movie, which I don't usually like, but it tackles the holidays in a way that is like, it sucks with like the commercialism and the annoying neighbors and the annoying family members, and it really highlights that to the point where like it's relatable, and in that way it's really funny. It's dark, but it's funny. Actually, I'd kind of compare it to Christmas Vacation, which is weird. It's very weird. It's not like that. Like, I didn't like the humor in that movie as much, but like in terms of like what it's doing, I prefer this movie, and it reminds me a lot of that. So, Chris, it's like that.
Well, damn, you know I'm a sucker for Christmas Vacation, so
I'm not trying to say that because I know you like that movie.
Right,
I genuinely think that. Yeah.
Right. No, I need to see this movie. Do you have it on Blu-ray?
Honestly,
yeah, I have it on Blu-ray.
All right, we'll watch it.
I saw it in like a near empty theater, and it upsets me because this movie's so underrated. Like, I don't know why people hate it so much.
Yeah, I'm looking at like Letterboxd, and there are like quite a number of people who have like given this a positive or at least like a decent review. So
yeah,
like,
but it bombed, right?
It's surprisingly like most, I would say like most people or like normal film going people weren't big fans of it, but like there are still some people who really really like this. So okay, I'm sold. I'm down to check this out sometime.
Pleasant surprise here with Krampus. Name of Krampus. Yes. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna go with. All right. I'm gonna talk about this one now. So I brought this up last time. For gross movies. For disgusting.
Oh, God
movies.
damn it.
Oh no.
But remember, you two hadn't seen it when I talked about it the first time, so now we can have a better discussion.
This isn't a horror movie.
Gross out horror. That's a part of horror, Chris. We made a whole film about horrified? It. Gross out horror is horror, and this is a comedy.
Horrified, Chris? I wasn't horrified.
Well, that's you're not horrified by anything. So what? You're not scared. You keep telling us I'm not scared of anything. Yeah.
Okay. No, you just say that. You just say it.
You say that to me all the time. I'm always like, "Hey, Brandon, what scares you?" And you're like, "Nothing. Nothing scares me."
Object impermanence.
Object impermanence?
Object impermanence is what's scares you.
I'm joking.
So, like, Eternal Sunshine Spotless Mind is going to scare the shit out of you when those things start flying away.
Well, don't you
where'd it go?
When
I do this, where'd he go? Where's he? He was just here. Peekaboo. Oh, where'd you go from? What if we found out that Brandon had object impermanence? That would be fucking amazing.
And Brandon is like, but like to the point that Brandon's scared of peekaboo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm talking about the Greasy Strangler. If anyone was
God damn it.
Connecting the dots here. The Greasy Strangler, one of the best films of the 2010s, directed by Jim Hoskins. This film is vile. It is like a Tim and Eric sketch extended into a full movie, with hints of Harmony Korine, and just some of the grossest imagery, but not gross in like a on a moral level, just like gross.
Not like Salo.
I'm not talking like Salo.
Physical level.
I'm talking about a physical level. Like if you want to see a dude's mouse-faced dick covered in grease and shit like that, and like
in a car wash,
washing himself off in a car wash, seeing some really awkward sex scenes. This movie pulls out all the bells and whistles of like what makes Tim and Eric work so well, like using some crazy Craigslist actors, making them deliver the lines as flatly as possible, sort of disassociating you with reality. That gives you that uncomfortable feeling while watching this film, and it's got like a really strange score that doesn't necessarily fit the movie, but because it doesn't fit, it really fits, and it's just a great movie about a relationship between a father and a son, and just how they develop and figure out what is the Greasy Strangler and who's the Greasy Strangler. And fighting over a girl, the Rudy Tooty Disco Cutie. Come on. This movie is so good.
Disco Cutie. Rudy Tooty Disco Cutie.
Rudy Tooty Disco Cutie. Come on. Yeah, it's a great movie. I want to lubricate the world with it, as Sasha, our roommate, would say. Greasy Strangler. Guys, now you've seen the film. What do you think of it?
This was... I like to think of my life in two parts. Part one is before the Greasy Strangler, and part two is post Greasy Strangler. And this movie is very effective at what it wants to do. I will definitely give it that. Yeah. It is repulsive. It is incredibly repulsive. I actually recently saw To 10, which in a weird way I can draw some similarities. But yes, this movie it's really a sight to behold, to be honest, because there's so much in this movie that is very, I don't even know how to describe, like, it's very hard to put into words what this movie is.
Yeah.
I do remember the last scene in this movie was very like in-worldening for some reason. Wasn't them in their field or something with some color? Yeah.
I don't know if that's the right word for it. Shout out to Kelly Fury, but yeah.
All right, I was destabilized. Let's say that then.
Yeah. Okay.
You were enworlded by a real life character.
Yeah.
This guy's real.
But there's so many good quotes in this movie. My Letterboxd review just says the words, "Hey there, you cootie tootie disco cutie. I'll be honest, I'm shit scared right now. Check my cheeks and call me a bullshit artist. Pork chop.
Porto.
Let's go to Portos.
Let's go to Portos. They got great sandwiches. Brandon, Greasy Strangler. What do you think?
It's disgusting, but in a good way. It's I don't know. It's like it's very. original, and like you couldn't ask for more if you're like a film fan. Like, you ever like get bored of watching movies and you're like, every movie is the same, and you get really jaded, and then you see something like this and you're like, I hate everything this movie stands for, but like, god damn, this is an original film and I respect the vision, you know? And it's funny too. Like, I don't think it's very horrific, but like, it doesn't scare me, but I think it's funny.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I will say though, like, when we were watching this, if we're breaking this down just on the aspect of horror and comedy,
yeah,
I constantly was like covering my eyes, but also 2 seconds later laughing my ass off. So it is really like the extremes of both in one film. Which is
so does Jackass count as a horror movie too? Because like, you were covering your eyes and laughing during that.
Well, I guess physical horror in that sense, in a way.
But
yeah, I guess action horror is technically what it is. But no, action comedy.
Horror. That's
action
cool.
Horror comedy. I don't know.
That's like Train to Busan. Shout out to the first episode of the podcast.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, I think what makes this different from Jackass, from that being a horror movie versus this, is like, I think it's cinematically stylized to be considered horror by using like the grungy locations and like the sort of, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, sort of, it's sort of gross in its filmmaking techniques, which is something you see more in horror, whereas Jackass is just shot in like modes of documentary, you know? I don't know.
All I'm gonna say is it's a dangerous precedent to set by calling it a horror film, but that's just me.
Well, that's good. People think disgusting things are horrific to them. You just gotta understand what people are scared of, you know?
I'm not GP.
Letterboxd said this is a horror movie, Brandon, so sorry, buddy. All right, Chris, let's go to your second film.
Cool. All right, my next movie is, you know what? I'm going to let the director's last name be the hint of what this movie is.
And we have to guess it?
You will know the moment I say this director's surname.
Okay.
Or family name. It's from the year 2000. The director's name is...
In the Mood for Love.
Remember, listen for the last name. Okay. Keenan Ivory Wayans.
God damn it.
It is a Scary Movie starring the Wayans
brothers.
What? Are you dead ass? The Scary Movie? I haven't seen a single one of these. I've never seen Scary Movie. I've never seen Epic Movie.
Good dude, you have no idea what these movies are. Filth.
Let me tell you, Ethan, you're not missing out.
You're really not missing out on much. It is such a bygone era of movies, like these kinds of like for anyone who doesn't know, this was kind of like the grandfather of like this kind of weird fad that was going on through Hollywood in the 2000s, where people kept making these really weird spoof horror comedies. And like, so this movie is basically a direct parody of I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream. And this film spawned a franchise that I think went off of 5 sequels or something like that.
Jesus.
There's a lot of these. There's really no words to describe it. It's a Wayans Brothers movie, so you kind of know the brand of comedy you're going to be getting. The jokes have not aged well at all. A lot of very, shall I say, racially and ableism, like insensitivity, shall I say?
Yeah.
Very lowbrow humor, and not something I advocate for, but I will say that if that happens to be your thing, and if you are in the mood to laugh at some pure stupidity, this really does deliver on that promise. Because I have seen this movie with some friends, and my God, this thing does not let down that promise. There is just, this movie really doesn't hold back, and I guess I can respect it for that. But beyond that, this movie is garbage, but in a weird way where I kind of enjoy it for the fact that it's garbage. Every character, every shot, moment to moment joke is rooted in something that can be attributed to like 1980s slasher cinema, but it's all very surface level. But if that's what you're here for, that's what you're gonna get with Scary Movie. Bam.
Wow. So, let me get this straight.
Yeah.
So, Scary Movie is basically just is it like sketch comedy, basically, where it's a compilation of, like, parodies?
It is one cohesive narrative, but it's like, they consistently are, like, referencing different movies and kind of stringing them together through, like, a narrative that pretty much mirrors the films that they're mimicking, but they still, they just interweave a lot of stuff.
I hate these movies, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, like, go ahead. What do you think?
They more than qualify for this list. Like, Chris, you're not wrong. I remember watching these movies as a teenager and think they were like the funniest thing in the world, and that's because I didn't like horror movies, or when I was like, and that's how Ethan felt about horror movies when he was a teenager. That's how I felt about horror movies when I was a teenager. So, like, these were the only movies that I watched that had anything horrific in it, and it was like a few jump scares here and there, but I didn't get any of the references. But now, having seen like a lot of different horror movies and a lot of movies from the early 2000s, late 90s, I went back and rewatched this with you and Joey, and I remember that night. And I was like, what the heck?
This fucking sucks.
This isn't what I remember at all. Yeah. Like, it was the opposite of an epiphany, and I'm like, why do I own the first two on DVD? I need to burn my DVD collection. No, just kidding.
I do want to tell this kind of funny story. So when I was little, much like you guys, I was very averse to horror films. But one night I was hanging out with my big sister, and she put this movie on, not knowing what it was, but she had kind of like, okay, maybe this will be like an introductory, like, kind of scary movie for Chris. Somehow this movie scared the absolute shit out of me. This was actually the movie that made me terrified of Ghostface.
Really?
And then years later, I watched Scream, and that scared the shit out of me. Even though that movie is technically kind of a parody, or like at least a referential meta parody. But like, somehow this movie scared me just as much as Scream, just because I saw them at different ages.
That is wild.
Like the scene of what's the name of the lead actor? She was
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris. There's the scene at the end where she's screaming to the sky because the killer got away. That image haunted me as a kid for some reason. And it's looking at it now, it's the most cheesy thing, but for some reason as a kid, it scared the absolute shit out of me. But yeah, that's my second movie. Ethan, Loki, I don't care if you watch this eventually, but if you do, I'd love to be there. It'd be fun, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'd get drunk and watch it with you, Chris. That sounds fun.
Here's the thing. I think we need to do this. I think we need to get really drunk and watch all 5.
All 5, like a Norm of the North style marathon?
Right, we also need to finish our Final Destination. We haven't finished Final Destination yet.
Wait, has he not? What did he watch? Did he just watch?
We didn't go to 5.
I've just seen the first 2.
We only showed him the first 2.
He didn't see 5?
No.
Oh, I have all of them with me.
We'll get back to that.
Because the 4th one's like awful, but it's like fun awful. But 3 and 5 are 5 is just 5 is like surprisingly good.
Yeah. All right, but yeah, that's my second movie.
Okay, all right, Scary Movie. That is a
movie.
Whether it's good or not, it's a very popular horror comedy. So, Brandon, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is you know how I chose a film that was more horror than comedy before? Now I have a more comedy than horror, but it's still got horror elements, and I picked, I think it's 2014, Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen film, This Is the End.
Have we not picked that for a final stack?
Really? We haven't picked this before?
I don't know. I checked.
Oh, wow.
I'm
we
pretty
didn't pick
sure
it for
we
disaster
haven't.
Movies.
Double check. Let
me double check.
Because I do have backups, but I thought I didn't see it on there. Because if not, I'll pick another movie. I thought
this movie is so fucking funny.
It is so funny.
Wait, wasn't Vanessa Hudgens in this?
It's so funny. No, we didn't pick it. You're good. You're good.
Oh, Emma Watson was in this.
We haven't even talked about this movie on Stacked. We haven't even talked about it yet.
How have we never talked about this movie?
Probably because we talk about this movie all the time and like how genius it is, and we just thought we talked about it on the podcast.
I remember this movie coming out, or years before it came out. There's this rumor that they were doing this movie with like the cast playing themselves, and that was enough to be like, okay, comedians playing themselves in a movie, like that's an interesting idea. It's very meta. Nobody's ever done it before, and it's in this circumstance. This is the end is about these Hollywood celebrities: Seth Rogen, Jay Baruchel, James Franco, Craig Robinson, Danny McBride, Jonah Hill, all stuck in their LA mansion, or James Franco's LA mansion, when the rapture happens, essentially. And all these horrific demons are about. There's apocalyptic scenarios playing out, all while they're like joking around and playing exaggerated versions of themselves during this apocalypse. Mm-hmm. And it's a genius concept. They poke fun at horror tropes by like playing upon them in a meta formula. They're movie stars, so of course they're like, you know, they're aware of these things too. So it's like a double layer of meta. And honestly, like I remember seeing this movie in theaters opening weekend, and I was probably too young to see it, to be honest. I'm happy my dad took me, but it was absolutely hilarious. There are a few scenes that are scary in there for me, like that I'd count as like horrific, like a few jump scares here and there where you're not sure if like the characters get out alive or not. There's lots of gore in it. And yeah, overall, I think it's a great horror comedy. It plays upon both genres really well, but definitely leans more heavily into the comedy.
Yeah. This is such a pleasant movie to watch. So I actually didn't see this movie until... How long ago did you show this to me, Brandon? Like a year and a half, maybe ish.
Has to be, because I remember trying to get you guys to watch this one.
This was so much fun. So, for me, this was kind of like, how do I put this? These bunch of like comedians, like Seth Rogen and James Franco and Jonah Hill and all that, like they all kind of. I'd like to see them like the Avengers of comedy. You know what I mean? They all kind of had their own movies, doing their own franchises. But every now and then they'll come together in their small team up movies. But this was the big one where all of them are together again. And it's really fun that they play themselves. And I love how much fun it is. Brandon, I went into this movie not knowing anything other than the fact that they had all these actors and it was about the rapture. And my God, I was treated to something wonderful. I thought it was so fucking funny. They pull out every stop. They really don't let up with it. I mean, like the opening, like think about like what you're seeing in the opening. You're seeing like a mansion filled with all these celebrities, and you're recognizing people who might not even have really like big speaking lines. They're just in the background hanging out. Like Kevin Hart is in this movie.
Like Paul Rudd's in
two lines.
Paul Rudd is in this movie. All of the
Rihanna,
right here.
Yeah,
McLovin, Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
The super bad guys get back together.
Michael
Damn,
Cera.
son, where'd you find this?
But
Emma Watson.
Emma Watson's in
Jason Segel. It's good.
Yeah, it's
David
so
Krumholtz, Martin Starr.
And
so
I think it's fantastic. This movie has become a favorite of mine in terms of like movies just to throw on with a bunch of friends and laugh our asses off. One thing I do want to, I'm sure there are a billion things to talk about, but one last thing I want to mention is that the ending of this movie with the Backstreet Boys, that shit is still so fire. Whenever I hear that song, we go like, everybody rock your body right. That's all I can think about is them in heaven, and I think that's so funny, and I love this movie. It's awesome.
Yeah, this was my first R-rated movie that we saw. Me and my dad. He took me to see this in theaters. Hold on. Yeah, it's. What are you doing? No, it's
running a mile.
No, it's not running out of breath. It's just there's a pain in my throat, bronchitis. So I'm just calling it.
Definitely not COVID.
It's not COVID. I got negative tests today.
Twice, yeah.
Twice. I didn't get 2 tests in one day, and I just got 1 test. Anyways, yeah, this movie is so funny. It's so funny. It's like, I don't know, just the way stoner humor can be a little petty sometimes, I would say, but I think they do a good balance. Also, fourth wall breaking, like meta humor about celebrities and celebrity culture can also be really petty. But somehow this movie just does it really well because I think these guys are like actually friends in real life, that they're able to riff off each other and like how like Hollywood culture sees them and how they see each other. You know, so they have Jonah Hill play like, because he was just going off his nomination for Moneyball. He was playing like this super pretentious actor guy and like the super nice guy who's actually like a huge piece of shit, you know? And same with like...
He was playing Ellen.
He was playing Ellen, that's right. And then we have like James Franco, who's sort of like, oh, we're never gonna see him in these kind of movies ever again, which is kind of sad because like the big thing between these comedies is like his relationship with Seth Rogen, but like him being like kind of washed up, I don't know, and just like kind of hippy dippy, but yeah, the horror is good because apocalyptic horror, that's something you don't really see all that often and see all that often done well, you know. Yeah, super funny movie, and it does have some scary moments, like when they leave the house and like you see the demons for the first time. Like I was a little scared when I saw that for the first time. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, this is a good horror comedy. Very good. Nice pick, Brandon.
Nice.
Alrighty. Let me see. This is the end. All right, we're into the final round here. I wonder if we're gonna get a double stack with this one. I can feel it. I think this is maybe considered the godfather of horror comedies. Or should I say the Godfather 2, because it's a sequel. It is directed by none other than Sam Raimi. I chose Evil Dead 2. No? No one?
Interesting. Thought about it.
Thought about it?
Not for me.
I think this is the ultimate horror comedy because I think this movie is legitimately scary and legitimately funny. I'm still I'm more partial to Army of Darkness. That's my favorite of the trilogy. But Evil Dead 2 is... Good? What? Yeah, no, it's just like, it stings after
Ethan,
I talk for a while.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Don't fucking bring this.
So much water.
I'm fine.
If we have a new host by next week, you guys know what happens.
It's not COVID, everyone. I've taken a test that was negative.
Milo, we have a job offer for you.
I just drove the guy.
I didn't drive shit. I didn't do fucking shit. I didn't fucking do this. This was probably from you, Mr. Knott's Berry Farm. All right?
What? I didn't get sick first. You got sick first. You got me sick.
Your mama got me sick. Woo! Oh! Ooh. Anyways, Evil Dead 2. Chris. Ooh. Evil Dead 2 is fucking bananas. Sam Raimi goes all out with this sort of remake of his original Cabin in the Woods story that sort of made the Cabin in the Woods story like so popular. It's almost beat for beat of what he did last time. I mean, even using Bruce Campbell again, sort of his muse, and just sort of just playing with some grotesque special effects and imagery and intense scares by like, I don't know, the scares in this movie are really intense, but also it's like really, the fact that it's so over the top makes it really funny, and how Bruce Campbell's character sort of loses his own sanity to deal with the situation, like, just makes it all the better. It's insanely entertaining. If you haven't seen Evil Dead 2, it's a perfect Halloween movie. You gotta watch it. It's what made, I think after Evil Dead, this is what really put Sam Raimi on the map. So yeah, Evil Dead 2. What do you guys think? Brandon?
No?
Damn it. What? What do you want? No! 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 What? No! What happened? No!
Brandon's frozen.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh!
But Brandon.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Why did you do that? What happened?
My Wi-Fi.
My Wi-Fi. Is it fine now?
Yeah, we're good now.
Did the recording still going? Recording still going?
Yeah, my recording's still going.
Okay.
The double blackout.
I said.
No, I'm completely editing this out. Brandon, what did you think of Evil? What do you think of Evil Dead 2?
Evil Dead 2 is probably my favorite Evil Dead movie. I almost chose it. It's one of those the 10 that I was going through, and I was like, should I choose this? I had like the one of the Leprechaun movies on here, and I was like, no, I can't have that. But Evil Dead 2 is a very fun movie. It's like Bruce Campbell takes it to a 10. I think the tone, because it's basically a remake of Evil Dead 1, is like very like meta, and it doesn't take itself too seriously. They play it over the top with the Bruce Campbell's character, and like how they create characters out of like not fictional objects, but like inanimate objects, like taxidermy heads and like crawling hands that have been cut off, and it's funny. And Sam Raimi's biggest inspiration, I don't know if you talked about it already, because because the power went out.
The power went out again. Everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Cut it out, but Brandon's power went out. It's not the great blackout, but it's stupid. Brandon, keep going.
It's okay. Is that his inspiration was from the Three Stooges, and it is very well seen here. And it's physical comedy, and I don't really like physical comedy, slapstick humor a lot, but like here, it definitely works because of like what they do with like gore and his insanity. Because like when he goes insane, and like the world is kind of devolving around him because of the spirits and because of his own like being, like it's hilarious, and you can't help but laugh.
Yeah, you can't help but laugh because of the insanity. Chris?
So I have actually only seen the first Evil Dead and the really gory remake.
What?
Yeah. So I have not seen the second one or what is it? Army of Darkness? Army of Darkness.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of love for Sam Raimi. He's made some of my favorite movies. And I'm very excited to see what he does with Doctor Strange. But yeah, I've always had a lot of respect for him, especially considering that he was a indie horror director in the beginning of his career. And yeah, very foundational filmmaker in the early 2000s as well. So yeah, I'm down. Sam Raimi, baby.
Sam Raimi, baby. Alrighty. Chris, what's your last horror comedy?
So my last film is actually a movie that I watched during the pandemic, early days of the pandemic, actually, during Tori's birthday. It was in her apartment before her and I even became roommates. Remember, there was a time in the pandemic before where Tori and I weren't even roommates yet. Which feels like a lifetime ago. We lived across the hall from each other for a bit because we both were in what's it called? The K apartments.
Lived there for a year and a half. What is it called? No, just
yeah, I know. So this movie is directed by Eli Craig from the year 2010. It's Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
This movie, I've never seen it, but
me neither.
I know it because Netflix won't stop recommending it to me.
You would like this. I think Netflix is kind of like, it might know a thing or two about you. The fact that it's recognizing you as like maybe someone who would like this. Okay, so this movie is a hugely off the wall riff of horror comedies. Of horror movies.
Oh, that would be crazy. Crazy.
Imagine Scary Movie, like the type of movie that Scary Movie is, but a whole lot less stupid. It's the story of two hillbillies who find themselves caught in the middle of a horror film, except everyone seems to think that they're the killers. It brings together absurdism and meta comedy really well. Every archetype and scene type is here, but it's all contextualized in this very like poke fun at and of the genre, but also celebrates the slasher genre really wonderfully. I think it's really endearing, surprisingly. Actually, there's actually like a story about best friends here, and it's really sweet and wholesome. I highly recommend checking this out. It is a pretty low budget movie, but it stars two guys. I forget the name of one of the actors, but I know Alan Tudyk is one of them. And they do some great stuff. Yeah, I just think it's great. Brandon, I know you haven't seen it, but Ethan, you haven't seen it either, have you?
We only watched that one. Remember, we watched a clip in that horror class.
Here comes
the famous horror class. Did he show us? I think it was the log cutting scene. I don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Rest of the movie is great. I'll tell you that. I think it's a lot of fun. If this is what you're looking for. Would recommend it for both of you, especially you, Brandon, because I know you love these kinds of fun horror movies, and yeah, would recommend for all of y'all.
I feel like I've heard about this movie for like a decade, and I've seen the poster so many times that I'm like,
has anything been been stopping you other than just like maybe another time?
Honestly, it's like every time I look at the poster, I'm like, I don't know if I ever want to watch this movie, but it sounds interesting.
You should add it to your movies I refuse to watch list.
It's not that I refuse to watch it, though. It's not that I refuse to watch it. It's just like, maybe it's out of spite. Maybe it's out of spite. Yeah.
You're like Justin. Netflix and the world is telling you to see it so much that you don't want to see it.
Yeah, because I'm scared that it'll disappoint me.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
You should have a conversation with Justin about this because he'll relate.
Yeah.
That motherfucker. Well, he wants to go to Disneyland by himself out of spite for all of us.
What?
He's like, I'm going to go by myself so no one can judge me for having a horrible time.
Justin.
Oh, Justin.
Don't take this personally. I know you're not listening. But don't
He's never listened to an episode.
Yeah. But you don't seem like a fun person to go to theme parks with. Unless we go to Scary Farm.
I just put in a fucking sound effect. Ooh, nobody share this with Justin.
It's except me. Everybody says, but I'm a fun person to go to theme parks with.
Everyone says I'm
fun. Everyone says this about I'm a really fun person to go to theme parks.
If I take Justin to, I don't know, maybe he'll have a good time. I'll change him. I can fix him.
All right, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Dude, I gotta see this movie, Brandon. We gotta sit down and do it sometime. Whenever you're not working out Scary Farm. I don't know when that is. By the way, I don't know if you can hear this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to edit out, but it is raining really hard right now.
I can't hear it.
Well, yeah, because I'm next to like that tin roof over our fucking thing. And it's really loud, so sorry about that. It's raining.
Remember when it rained during our MCU marathon during like Thor 3?
It rained at the beginning of Thor of Thor Ragnarok, and like when he was beating up everyone and like Surtur, thunder was cracking and shit while it was playing Immigrant Song, and we were just like, "Whoa, yes, this rules!" It was so cool, so cool. All right,
he's so cool.
He's so cool. Chris Pratt is Mario. He's so cool. Brandon, what's your last horror comedy?
It's funny that you consider Evil Dead 2 to be the grandfather of horror comedy, because there's a little movie that was released 5 years before it that I consider to be the great grandfather.
I said Godfather 2.
Oh, well then I'm picking The Gremlins.
The Gremlins.
Yo, I almost picked this movie.
Yeah,
I almost picked this movie.
Because this is like the perfect mix of horror and comedy. It scared me as a child. It scares me a little bit now. Not going to lie.
Really?
These little creepy goblins.
Wait, you're scared of gremlins?
Well, it doesn't terrify me, but like the situation does, and I have childhood trauma from it. So it's more like that, because maybe it's them not following the rules of life, that's kind of scary. But Gremlins is basically about a kid who gets a animal, strange creature for his early for Christmas from his business daddy. and something goes wrong because he doesn't follow the rules, and out of it come these despicable green creatures from this cute little fluffball Gizmo, and they wreck shit in his hometown of the Warner Brothers lot. This movie is funny, it's scary, it's got a great balance of like humor. I think it plays upon the Christmas season well. I think it's funny that I didn't realize until right now that I picked 2 Christmas horror comedies. But there's something about that vibe that I really like. You know, like it's a magical season, which adds to like this beautiful like snow and blood cover. It's nice. I should have chose Jack Frost 2 or something.
Yeah, 2 of your movies are Christmas themed. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta say, like, Brandon, I actually was gonna pick this movie at first. It was in my list, but then I actually swapped this out for Scary Movie because I was like, oh man, I feel like I don't know how they're gonna feel about me picking a Christmas movie for the Halloween season.
I picked 2.
but I will say I'm glad you brought it up because I do really like this movie. I actually remember this is actually one of my favorite stories of the 3 of us is that I remember one night we were all 3 of us brought our favorite Christmas movies to watch together, and we were all very lukewarm about each other's
movies.
We were all just like, all right, your movie was fine, all right. And we all loved our own movies.
We were all like, guys, right, okay, right, okay.
Maybe it just wasn't the vibe.
It was a great night though. We had a really fun time.
It was really fun. It was a fun.
We got donuts.
It was it was a good time. But yeah, I'm glad you chose this movie, Brandon. I completely agree. This movie is so much fun, very magical, and I do agree. Like the Christmas season does lend a certain level of like irony to like horror, and like
because it's so like hopeful.
Yeah, it's like that's why I feel like Christmas music can be made very creepy. If you use it in the right setting and like slow it down or some shit, I don't know. But like, I don't know. But this movie's so much fun, so great. I laugh my ass off at this movie all the time. But I remember as a kid, I used to find it kind of creepy too.
That sequence at the end, Chris, you know the sequence where like the gremlins are taking over the town because they've multiplied so much.
I know the sequence too, by the way.
And
I've seen the movie.
And it's so gleeful and stuff.
Yeah,
but you know, and like they're killing everybody, and it's like that traumatized me as a kid. Like those old people dying when the gremlin drove like the like, what was it, snowplow? Into their house. That scared the hell out. It's like that's like the same level of scared I got during Jurassic Park 2 when the dinosaur. Yeah, when The Lost World, when the dinosaur's in San Diego and he's eating the dog in front of the kid, and then they take the picture alerting. Like that, to me, that's like, because it's subtle and it's subtly, disturbing. I don't know why.
All right, here's what I'm gonna say. I never saw this movie when I was a kid. I watched it the first time freshman year of college because a homeless man bought it for me at a Walmart. I didn't ask him to. He just bought it. He bought it for me and gave it to me.
He said, "You've never seen Gremlins?"
He's never seen Gremlins. He said, "Here, take this." He bought it. He's like, take it and watch it, man. It's gonna change your life." And then he offered me to drive him to LA so we can get the Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce and have a good time with some girls. And I was like, "What the fuck are you? No." Get out of my face! I took
freshman year, Ethan.
No, thank you. I took the Gremlins and I ran. I don't even own that copy anymore. I gave it to Sellers, friend of the show. Holy fuck! It's hailing.
I can't hear it.
It's actually hailing outside.
What the hell?
Yeah, Sasha, is it hailing?
It's raining.
Oh, but is it? Right yeah, we're recording. It's fine. No, we were talking about the rain anyways, so. Okay. Sasha's first appearance on Stacked, everyone. Is it raining outside? What's the weather update?
We should play.
Can you ask Sasha about their favorite genre?
Can you play?
Yes.
Can you play the
the weather music?
No, you should play Sasha enter music.
All right, Sasha's back to report on the weather. Sasha, what is the weather outside today?
As normal, sunny.
You're a liar. Gaslighting episode was last week.
It's 8:40 p.m. I don't think it's sunny.
It's 8:40 p.m. Okay.
Wear your sunglasses.
Okay.
You
thank
should have played the entrance music like they do in sitcoms.
Animation's a genre, Sasha. All right. Uh-oh. No. Okay, we're good. We're safe.
Okay. I almost chose What We Do in the Shadows instead.
Me too. I almost chose that as well, but I thought you guys were gonna choose it. Yeah, I didn't grow up with Gremlins. Actually, this might be a good criteria because for it to be a good horror comedy, I was too scared by it. to watch it. I wasn't scared by the gremlins. I was scared by Gizmo. I thought that dude looked creepy as fuck. I didn't think he was cute.
The cute gremlin?
Yeah, I thought that dude was creepy. I was like, no way. I'm not. It looked like a Furby. I was like,
grab Gizmo right now.
I'm not scared of it anymore because now I've seen the movie and I've seen how like he moves and talks and stuff. But I just saw like that picture where he's just standing there like, you know? And I was like, oh, no way. I'm not seeing that. Brandon's pulling out the gremlin.
He's probably digging through like
this
years.
This show is just dragging. I am a ah! Okay. I'm not scared of him anymore because I know like how he talks and stuff. He goes, Gizmo, get him off my face. Yeah, but I just saw that one image of him just like standing there menacingly. You know? Yeah. Like you don't know what's gonna happen if you feed me. You know, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. I went, no, not watching that. No. So yeah, I watched it. I'm like, it's okay now. It's not too memorable for me, but I can understand why it's a classic and why people love it. Very 80s, very fun
This
movie.
film goes through. Every time I watch Gremlins, I have a different opinion on it. Like it's like a roller coaster. Like it's when I watched it for the first time, I don't think I liked it all that much, but like since it's like I've liked it more, I've liked it less. You know, it depends on the vibe. You know.
Yeah. It does. All right. There are our horror comedies. There they are. That's all of them. Let's run through what they all are again before we get to figure out this final stack. So, I just spit out a gremlin.
That's so funny.
Anyways, all right. My movies are Werewolves Within, The Greasy Strangler, and Evil Dead 2. Chris.
My movies are Ready or Not, Scary Movie, and Tucker and Dale versus Evil. Brandon.
My movies are Gremlins, This Is the End, and Krampus.
Alrighty.
All right. I think we gotta put This Is the End here.
Yeah, because that's the one we're all like, yeah.
It's funny. It's got some horror elements. It's meta.
And that's a good modern one. I think that should be our modern pick because we got a couple different generations here. You know,
we gotta have a Christmas horror film. Does it bring something different?
Okay, I will do Gremlins if we can put Greasy Strangler.
No. Wait a second.
No. I will do a Christmas. I will do a Christmas one if you don't want Greasy Strangler on this list. No,
it's not scary. It's not gross.
It's not scary to you. Gross out horror is a subgenre of horror. You're just refusing to acknowledge it. Are you drawing again? That microphone's gonna pick that up, you bastard. God damn it. Oh, how long have you been drawing? Oh, you're in so much trouble, buddy. After this podcast is over. He's clapping. He's happy.
You're laughing. You're
laughing.
Beret.
Joker should have been on this one. We could have talked about that one again. That's kind of scary. Society, that one's funny. Come on.
Hey, Ethan.
Yeah.
Ethan, what am I? I'm not a villain.
You are a villain. You're a menace. Chris, don't make me put up the Facebook group chat screenshots today.
It's not real. It's fake. You guys altered it.
No. What do you mean altered it? It's all in our phones. I wish I could tell the audience what we're talking about, but that is just that I would never do that to Brandon.
It's not my fault.
It's not your fault, but it's a bad look. Then maybe that's what happened, Brandon. You broke Facebook because holy fuck. The house is this is insane.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah, what? Where are you? I know you're in this house. Why are you not hearing this?
I'm not shaking.
We got to figure out this final stack and wrap this show up. This is insane. Yeah. This is going too long. Okay.
Too long. Okay.
This is the end. Then can we have Evil Dead 2?
No. Yes,
no!
Of course. It's the granddaddy of
That should be the classic one.
Chris, what movies did you have?
Ready or Not, Scary Movie, and Tucker and Dale.
Ready or Not is a fun one.
Yeah, but Tucker and Dale is like indie.
Tucker and Dale kind of sounds like Evil Dead to me, though.
Is it, Chris?
What is the premise of it?
Yeah.
Two hillbillies get framed for being killers, even though they're not, and really sweet guys, and they just riff on horror movies the entire time.
Oh, okay.
It feels like for Tucker and Dale, that feels like an indie, whereas like our other ones are like, well, I mean, Evil Dead 2 is an indie, but it's like, because it's like a classic, like it doesn't feel like that. You know?
The problem is with me, that one's also that sounds sort of meta, like this is the end, you know? Meta for different reasons, but I don't know.
How about Scary Movie?
Well, Scary Movie is meta, and that's like this is the end.
All right.
Ready or Not is not meta, but it is.
Okay,
modern.
no, I'll do it. I'll do it. Tucker and Dale versus Evil. That's fine, because it's a different kind of meta. How should we order this? This is an awkward one to order. I think Evil Dead 2 should be last. If I'm going to be completely 100% honest. But it does end on a cliffhanger, so I don't know. This is the End has a good ending. And we could hear Brandon say, in our last film. That's always a perk.
You ended on a happy note. Honestly, if we chose Krampus, I know it's not on our final stack, but Krampus has like hell of an ending.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's fine. Chris, how does Tucker and Dale versus Evil? Like, is it end on a happy note? Or
a bit of like a bittersweet, but like a decent note.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Evil Dead is the first one, Evil Dead 2, Tucker and Dale, because now that you've seen sort of like a classic horror comedy, and that's also gonna be more considered a horror film, then you see this horror film that riffs on this horror comedy that riffs on horror films because they're talking about it all the time, and then you just get sort of more meta with This Is the End.
Okay. Progressively more meta.
Yes. What do you think, Chris?
I think that works.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Alrighty. Sounds good. All right. This is Stack's official Halloween-a-thon 2021 final stack of horror comedies, starting with one of the most classic horror comedies of all, Sam Raimi's Evil Dead. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you scream by how much Sam Raimi dives Bruce Campbell's character into this insanity of these demons and possessions and ghosts and cabins in the woods and just like insane, some of the most insane special effects during the time. It's a great watch to watch with friends because it's just hard to believe how crazy it is. Definitely recommend it. Evil Dead 2 is our number one film. Chris, what is number 2?
Our second movie is Tucker and Dale versus Evil, a movie about these two hillbillies that get framed for a murder and find themselves caught in the middle of an incredible horror film. It is a very heartwarming story that also honors the slasher genre while also poking a whole lot of fun out of it.
Brandon.
And our last film.
That is going to sound so good.
This Is the End, a terrific comedic horror film that balances the meta-ness of the situation of all these actors playing themselves with the horrors of the apocalypse and rapture.
Okay.
Anybody? Is that it?
That's good.
Just
no, that's it.
A 2-3 second pause.
Sorry, I just had to take that in. Sorry. That was good. I haven't heard you say in our last film for quite a bit, so it was a lot for me.
Like a week and a half. More, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's the episode, everyone. Thank you all for listening to this, our second Halloween-a-thon of this month. Let us know if you have any suggestions of topics that are sort of Halloween themed that we haven't done yet. Leave them in the comments, and we'll definitely consider them because we sort of have an idea of one episode we're gonna do, but we don't really. We got a guest for that. There's gonna be a guest this month. That's gonna be exciting. I think some of you will be more excited. Some of you folks down in the jungle, if you know what I'm saying. some of my jungle thick friends. So yeah, look forward to that, and we'll catch you all next time on Stacked. Brandon, are you? Oh, that was Brandon's back. Jesus Christ, are you okay, man?